Today we're going to be making the most basic of cake mixes. You could use it to make a Victoria sponge or the base for any muffins. You can swap and change ingredients, put flavours in, and it's a fail-safe really. So we start by weighing the eggs so we know how much we're going to use for everything else. So this is a WI trick that my nana taught me when I was very little. So we're using 3 eggs. So you weigh the eggs and then you match all of the other ingredients to it. So self-raising flour, you would do 184 grams or however much your eggs weigh. You would normally use caster sugar, but I can't find any in the shops anywhere. So light brown sugar works absolutely fine, or if you've got any kind of sort of non-coarse sugar. Granulated sugar doesn't work that well, but if you have to, it'll work. And then any kind of spreadable butter, margarine, anything like that, dairy-free alternatives. Again, the same weight as the eggs. Then it's 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. If you cannot find self-raising flour anywhere, which I know you can't, this is my last bag, you can use the same quantity but put 3 heaped teaspoons of baking powder in it. It won't rise as well, but it will rise. You need to preheat the oven to 180 degrees before you get started. And the first thing we're going to do is cream together the sugar and the butter with an electric whisk until it is nice and fluffy. I'm just going to cream the butter and the sugar together with an electric whisk until it's nice and light and fluffy. You can do it with a spoon, it's absolutely fine. And if you've got a stand mixer, you're one of the luckiest people in the world, but you can just chuck everything in at once if you're doing that, and it'll work absolutely fine. Okay, once you're finished with that, we're going to start adding the other ingredients. You need to make sure that your flour has been sifted. That's got the 1 teaspoon of baking powder in it as well. Eggs, we're going to add them one at a time. You don't need to beat them beforehand, it's fine. You're going to be smashing them up with a spoon. And now's the time to put in your vanilla essence. If you don't have this, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. So we're going to start by sticking in the vanilla, and we're going to do 1 egg and about 1/3 of the flour, just a little at a time until it's creamed. You can carry on doing this with the electric whisk if you want to. I prefer to do it by hand. So keep going with the eggs and the flour until all of it's combined. Once you've got everything combined into a nice smooth paste, depending on what you're going to do with it, you can either put it into 2 20cm sandwich tins, just a normal cake size. You can put it into a deeper one, which I'm going to be doing after this, to make a birthday cake for Poppy. Or you can split it between 12 muffin cases. You want the deep ones, or if you're going to make fairy cakes, the shallow ones, it makes about 18. So I'm doing muffins with these ones, and then while these are in the oven, I'm going to make a chocolate mix because Poppy has requested a chocolate monkey cake for her birthday, which is in 2 days. So once you've split the mixture evenly between all 12, you're gonna pop it in the oven. These take about 15 minutes at 180, but check them with a skewer to make sure they're not sticky inside. If you're doing too shallow for a Victoria sponge, takes between 20 and 25 minutes, and if you're doing deeper one, so all of the mixture's going in something like this. It takes anywhere between 30 minutes and 40 minutes, depending on what kind of oven you've got. So I'm going to finish all these and bang them in the oven. When you've got it all divided equally, don't worry, it doesn't have to look neat because it all smooths out in the oven. Top tip, if you have an ice cream scoop, it does exactly the right size for a muffin. These are going to be quite big, so don't worry about them being a bit heaped. Alright, they're going to go in the oven, and while that's cooking, I'm going to crack on with the chocolate cake. Chocolate cake is made exactly the same as the normal cake mix. The only difference is I've replaced 2 tablespoons of self-raising flour with 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. It takes exactly the same time to cook. You can do exactly the same things with it. So these have been in for about 18 minutes. Note to anyone, don't take them out halfway through and poke them to see if they're done, because they sink in the middle like that. The rest of them are absolutely fine. So we're going to leave these to cool, and then Max is going to turn them into monsters in a little bit. And we're going to save 2 of them to make them into monkey ears for Poppy. For a basic buttercream that's enough to cover 12 buns or a medium-sized cake, you would use 300 grams of icing sugar and 150 grams of butter, which you soften first with a fork. So it's double the amount of ice and sugar to butter. We've also put in this a couple of drops of vanilla essence, and I split it in 2 because we're doing food colouring so that we can make monsters. So I'm going to mix these in, so one's green and one's red, and then the kids are going to make some monsters with ours. Right, Max and Poppy are going to be making monsters. So we've got red icing, green icing, both in piping bags. We're just going to snip the ends. You can use a fancy nozzle if you want. Not necessary. Who was red? You. Okay.
Me. Wow, look at that circle.
Yeah.
Drizzly and dizzly.
Woo. Oh, there. You can put some monster eyes on that.
I'm green.
You're green, okay. You're going to help me with this one. Ready? Let's squeeze it to the end. Oh, okay. Ooh, sleeves. Ready. Oh, it's good icing. Oh, there we go. Okay, and you can put eyes on as well. There. You're going to put eyes on one of your monsters.
This one.
There. Make sure you get them the right way around. Yeah. Great job. Great job. You're going to put another one on. That looks great. Brilliant. There we go.
Looks like more.
Monster cakes. Hey, well done, guys.